Hello, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Crane Report with my good friend Dwayne Weiss by my side. And we're going to paddle right into all kinds of stuff this morning.
Good morning, everybody.
And there, I guess I've got about 6 outrages here, or 6 things we can delve with, and then a million miscellaneous things.
They usually turn out to be pretty interesting.
Um,
Of course, Bill never has any outrages.
no, but how about this guy on TV out in Michigan screaming death to America?
Fill us in on that one.
He's an Arab American who is outraged about us backing Israel in the Israeli-Hamas war.
Okay.
And he had a press conference where he started screaming, "Death to America! Death to America!" And they also cut away to another thing. And he says, to quote Malcolm X, "America is the rottenest country ever in the world."
Well, he probably quoted the right guy.
Yeah. He used to live here in Norfolk.
I understand that.
Yeah, at the can. There ought to be someone that could take him right into custody and charge him with hate speech.
Can't do that.
No. But
Only certain people can be charged with hate speech.
yeah, but if you or I said something that even vaguely was a sideways joke about something, they'd be out front with pitchforks and knives and guns and
Torches. But don't forget the torches. They always
torches.
got torches.
at nighttime.
Yeah.
I'm outraged about that.
Well, we got whole countries. Iran has got death to America all the time. They got it painted on buildings. They got it.
Yeah, but they don't have it in Michigan.
Michigan is pretty close to Iran.
Well, it sure is.
Once they started bringing all those stuff in,
You know, Dwayne, there's another thing, too. You know, we, in this country, we have got a couple of groups that, well, we're not going to prosecute you for that. But, you know, Sharia, I always pronounce it wrong, law,
Sharia.
Sharia.
Yeah.
That's against the law. They can't have that. And yet, it's practiced
Of course it is.
in Michigan. Why doesn't the authorities step in?
They won't wade in there. It's just like walking into a den of rattlesnakes. Only a fool does that.
If an idiot like me, riding around in Salt Lake City, can be pointed out the folks that have multiple wives.
Bill,
That's against the law.
of course it is.
So what happens there? An idiot like me knows who they are. Salt Lake City police don't know who they are.
They do, but they don't.
Yeah. So, oh, well, he's got 5 wives, but he takes good care of them. And you know, the guy I was riding around with was showing me all this. And he says to me, he said, now, they have a system. The first one he marries, first baby, she takes care of.
Okay.
And then he marries a nurse. So that a nurse can work as a nurse and take care of the baby if there's any health issues. And it works up the ladder that, then they hire someone else. And eventually they hire a financial person that's got
I
a
kind of like
bookkeeping.
this idea.
Yeah.
Now you're telling me about it.
Yeah. So that they got their health care taken care of. They got somebody that can run the checkbook and the
Maybe
finances.
4 or 5 incomes.
Exactly. Well, they have one that is the stay-at-home mom,
Okay.
and she takes care of
Well,
everybody's
yeah.
kids.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. But gee whiz, isn't that bigamy?
I guess it would be by law.
And we prosecute people for trying to jump over barriers to evade tolls in the subway system. Oh, the subway police are supposedly clamping down on these kids jumping over the turnstiles. We grab them. But something blatant like bigamy is, let's just put the old sunglasses on here so we don't see that.
It's always going to be that way.
It is. Because it's ingrained. Because it's the population that's out there.
That's right.
And they're not going to mess with them.
Nope, not at all.
How about Nassau County, New York? News this morning. They are going to start deputizing citizens to support police to combat crime and lawlessness. Now, isn't that just what we need? A backup militia of untrained people?
No, we don't need untrained people. We do need people that are aware of what's going on. Now, is Nassau, is that Manhattan?
And Nassau is, I think, Long Island, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of Long Island. But,
Yeah.
'cause I know there's Suffolk County and Nassau, and then
Yeah.
the further out you get, I
Yeah.
don't know who they are.
Yeah. But I think part of New York City is Nassau County,
It could
too.
be. Yep.
But this is what happens when you cut back on the police departments.
Oh yeah. There's no shortcuts when it comes to things like law enforcement or
No, there's not.
laws. Just if you get shorted here, you're going to get trouble over here. You're going to do this because everything's going to balance out.
I cut something out at home, and I was going to bring it in, and well, the heck with it. I decided I wouldn't, but something about the police. Maybe I'll bring it in next time.
Okay.
It will start trouble, I think.
Us start trouble?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Now, in this morning's Wall Street Journal, front page, big article. There is a growing trend of husbands and wives fighting over how they load the dishwasher. There is a Facebook group entitled Extreme Dishwasher Loading. The number just topped 31,000 people.
Okay.
The article was about 3 or 4 couples and how they have arguments about loading the dishwasher. One of them is an engineer, okay? And you know what he does? He has a ruler, and he measures where he puts the stuff so that the spray hits them all properly.
Well, I shouldn't tell us, but last night at our house,
Oh dear.
I noticed that the dishwasher was being loaded. I says, you can't put that there. Well, why not? I said, because it's one of those silicone mats that you can put hot food and stuff on. I said, because it's going to kill all the spray coming from the bottom up. Your bottom of your glasses and stuff aren't going to get any water. Well, I don't think so. I said, well, I think so. Take a look at it. Can you see any way that water is going to get up there? No. I said, so move it. She got all bent out of shape. But again, it was just common sense. But you're not supposed to use common sense when you load a dishwasher, I guess. I can see
I was going to say, have you ever heard of anything so absurd as people fighting over how to load the dishwasher?
Yeah, when you do it wrong. But,
by the way,
there is a way. And
yeah, you put the crap in and you shut the door.
no, actually, I showed her one time. I says, you don't put them this way. Here's the manual. They go bump, 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 face into the center because the water comes out this way.
Yeah.
And she said, well, it doesn't make any difference. I said, it probably doesn't make any difference, but it's just the way you do it.
Did you win the argument?
No.
No. 65% of Americans agree there is a right way and a wrong way to load a dishwasher.
Well, there is, because the manual that you get with it shows you how it's supposed to be done.
And here I thought this was the most absurd story I ever read.
No, it's not.
I stand corrected. Oh, I'm almost afraid to go to the next subject.
But
Wow.
it just so happened last night we had a discussion about you don't put mats over the top of one section.
Okay, now
And not let the water flow from top to bottom to top.
with this, I'm going to put a bullet in my head if this
Okay.
doesn't stop here. But I have. Let me put it this way. I handle it with the Billy method. When Susie's done, I go back in there and I rearrange it. And
Yeah,
then I shut
that's
the
the way I
door.
do them. See, my mouth don't let me do that.
Yeah, and I just there's a couple of things she does that I just wait until she stops and I go in and turn it
Turn it
around.
around, yeah. I've done that too, rather than fight over it.
So, with that off my chest,
You know what they call people like myself and you and other people that do that? Right fighters. We fight to be right. And I know I do it. It's
well, they
just-
call us some other things
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah. I always hear, you have to be in control, don't you? You just have to be in control.
I found that the art of compromise is the single most valuable thing you can possess when you decide to take that trip down the aisle and are knotted up with the bride.
And the art of resignation. All right, whatever you want.
Oh, yeah.
I do that. I found myself doing a lot more as I got older. What do you want to do this? I said, no. Well, I do. Well, go ahead then. I don't care.
Honesty is not a good trait.
A lot of
the
times
husband.
not. It's dangerous too.
Susie will say to me, "What do you want for supper?" I'll say, "It doesn't matter, honey."
That's what I do too. I have a word. I call it chef's choice. If
And
you're
then,
cooking it, I don't care.
and then that's the wrong thing to say.
Yep.
She said, "Why don't you tell me what you'd like?" Then I say, "Okay, honey, yes, you're right. What are my choices?"
That's what I do too. I said, all right, what do you have?
Hot dogs and beans, leftover spaghetti and meatballs, leftover something else. Or I can break out the frozen pot roast that you bought. And I say to her, honey, I don't care. All of them sound good, and I'm sure it'll be delicious. Surprise me.
Yep.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, you got to
Why
pick something.
can't you pick one?
The week after Thanksgiving or Easter was easy. It was ham.
Yeah.
Ham.
And after Thanksgiving, it's turkey, jerky,
Turkey, yeah, that's right.
jerky. You know, and I'm easily pleased.
Yeah, I'm not fussy about it.
No.
Particularly sometimes at night, you know.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just I'll have a can of soup
You know,
if nothing else.
Yeah, I love having a can of soup. Chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Campbell's Chunky. The old-fashioned chicken noodle and the chicken corn chowder.
Well, that sounds good.
It really is good. But it doesn't really matter to me. So then I say to myself, what's the easiest for her? Hot dogs and beans. Well, we had those last week. Well, I like them. Well, why don't you choose something else?
I don't mind eating things days in a row or several times a week.
I know.
Because there's certain things I like. I could eat hot dogs three times a week. I know you're not supposed to,
Yeah.
but I could.
She makes chili, and she makes a big pot of it.
Oh, homemade chili.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I get that 5 days in a row, I'm the happiest guy
Yeah.
in the world. Well, you can't have it 5 nights in a row. I said, why not? Well, we have to have something different tonight. So you know what? You just say whatever you want, honey. What would you like tonight? You know?
Should marry a home ec teacher.
Oh God.
Then you get you used to, not anymore. You couldn't have this because the colors were wrong. They had to have certain colors on the plate. Oh my God. This is what you paid money for to get a degree in?
But you know you gotta love them just
Yeah.
the same. Yesterday I bumped into an old friend. Very, very, very smart lady who lives in Canton.
Okay.
Hadn't seen her for a while. So how you been, Bill? Great. How about yourself? Blah, blah, blah. And then it dawned on me after we talked for a while. I said, tell me something. I said, what is the chatter in Canton? What's the story behind the story with Karen Reed?
I was going to say it has to be Karen Reed.
Now, what
24/7.
Because you natives, you know, are closer to it than we that
Right,
read it in
exactly.
the paper. And it was interesting. She said, the cops have it right. She's guilty of sin.
If you look, now I don't know the real. All I know is what I read, but the defense is getting to be absurd.
I mean, they're creating these.
Yeah, there's some scenarios that just don't make any sense.
There's no facts behind them. And the guy there that's the spokesman for her, the
Mr. Turtleman or
Yeah,
whatever the hell they call
Turtle
it.
Boy.
Turtle Boy. That's
Yeah.
it,
she said, you know, Bill, he's crazy.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that.
That was quite a breakthrough. But anyway, that's the feeling among
Yeah.
the citizens of Canton.
Oh, it's got to be 24/7 in Canton because you can't.
Oh, yeah.
We can't go a day without some reference by some media or some outlet to Karen Reed. I mean, it's
I'm getting down to one of my next outrages here.
okay.
Dear Abby. Now, I know you read Dear Abby from time to time if it
Occasionally,
catches your eye.
if the headline strikes me, but
Did you read this one? I bought the family farm but got a horrible secret.
No, that one I missed.
Dear Abby, I need a second opinion. My grandfather sold me an old farmstead that had been in the family for 200 years. Last week he showed me a wooded area behind the barn with a human skull. He told me that when his father died more than 50 years ago, he was curious about how long it would take a body to decompose, so he left his body in the woods to keep track of its progress. He has 50 years worth of pictures and notes. He told the rest of the family that great-grandpa had been cremated, and apparently no one questioned him about the ashes. At this point, the skull is all that's left. I checked with a lawyer who tells me that in my state no laws were broken. That said, I don't want my great-grandfather's skull sitting in the woods behind my barn. My husband says I should quietly bury it, burn the pictures and the notes, and forget about it. That just doesn't feel right to me. It feels like I'm helping my grandfather get away with something, and it feels icky. Should I tell the rest of the family or continue allowing them to believe that great-granddad was cremated? I'm resenting my grandfather for putting me in the middle of this, and any advice you have would be greatly appreciated. What would your advice be?
Leave it alone. Go bury the damn thing and be done with it.
Listen to your husband.
Yeah.
And burn the pictures and
Bury
burn
it and go forget it.
No one else knows about it.
Nothing. You can't change anything at this point.
That's right. But for her to write this song and dance story, and Dear Abby basically said, the farmstead and everything that goes with it is yours now to keep or dispose. And she said you could donate it to a medical school or bury it on your property. As to whether to tell the rest of the family what positive thing would be accomplished
That's just what I said.
by sharing this unpleasantness.
Mm-hmm. But some people just gotta get something in there. They gotta have a stir up over it.
You know, it's like a person that's a gossiper.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell a gossiper something, they turn themselves inside out fighting, because you've said, don't you dare say one word about this or I'll break your neck. So that gossiper spends the next 5 days grunting and groaning about, I've got to tell somebody this, and then they finally do. They can't help themselves. And this woman here wants to tell somebody about it. She wants to do some grinding about her grandfather being a nutbag.
If you look at it psychologically, and I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or anything
but you're
like
a
that.
wise man.
Well, that I am. But what you see here is a woman that wants attention.
Well,
if she can go out and to the relatives and say, guess what I found? I am now the star. I'm now the center of attention. Everybody's going to listen to me, and they're going to say, wow, you know.
Especially if they do it at a family picnic or something.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean you don't do it. She would not do this on just a onesie someplace. This would be, I have a announcement.
If she walked out the door of the picnic, out of her house, out back to the picnic, naked, and got hit by lightning, it couldn't cause a bigger stir than this. And should be the happiest camper in the world.
She might even put it in a box and bring it to the picnic.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Well, I can show it to you, you know.
But as far as doing that, I don't know about the grandfather or the great grandfather, what was his motives, but today there's a movement about not embalming people and
Natural
burying them in
burial,
that.
yeah.
It's sort of like a natural. They just return to earth or whatever
Yeah,
they call it.
yeah.
They some of these guys, they rent land or they own a section of land, and they let people come in and just deposit a body, and it just deteriorates by itself there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you have a cat or a dog that's hit by a car or something, you go in the backyard and with a shovel and you bury it.
My cats are.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that, that's what, folks, if you got a problem out there, there has not been two more qualified individuals that could solve it for you since Ann Landers. And that's Bill and I.
That's right.
Let us know, and we'll have the What's on Your Mind section.
And I'll tell you what, we'll give you an answer that'll square you away.
It'll fix it.
Oh,
If not, you get your money back.
there you go.
No, we're not going to charge you. We'll do it free.
We'll do it for free.
A community service.
Dwayne,
What?
how about throwing a couple of those at me?
Which one you want?
Oh, no. I meant your stories.
Oh, I had, again, because shows up, Rachel Rollins. What has she got on somebody anyway?
You know, Rachel Rollins, because of her gender and her race, is untouchable.
Yep.
And she's assertive to boot. So you know what? Every white guy in the world is going to duck when she starts swinging
Oh, absolutely.
and run in the other direction.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The last thing Roxbury Community College needs is she running the place.
Oh,
The place has got so many problems onto its own. You don't need to put a fox in charge of the hen house. It's just craziness. And I see today that our, what do they call it, sanctuary state status?
mm-hmm.
Our governor wants $100 million. Yeah, $100 million. We budgeted $50 million for taking care of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
She wants $100 million now.
Yeah. Well, we're paying $300 per family per night.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell you something. When I was traveling, it cost me about between $60 and $70 a night at Holiday Inns.
Yeah,
Maybe by the end of my career, it was up to 80.
Yeah, it was.
That's it. 300?
Have you seen what the meals that they're
Yeah.
getting? $21 for, looks like dog food. I don't know what the hell it is. Some noodles and a piece of carrot in it. They're charging the state $21 for that.
Amazing.
That's
You know,
crazy.
and you know what? The state says, give us more, give us more. They can't get enough of it. I mean, it is insane. The middlemen in that transaction are getting filthy rich.
McDonald's would be a hell of a lot better than that.
Yeah. Oh, I like McDonald's.
Oh, I do too. I got nothing. I love that. To me, it's a treat to go to McDonald's. So.
McDonald's is introducing fresh beef cheeseburgers. They will fry it up per your order.
Yeah, they did that with the quarter pounder a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They had trouble at first keeping up by the time somebody ordered it to get it out in time. But
Oh, well, by the way, then shall I tell you my latest outrage?
you know what?
Now, my wife does not like McDonald's, but she agreed to go to McDonald's. She would get the little chicken McNuggets, and I would get my, whatever it was, a Big Mac, I guess it was. So we went in to the new Millis store,
McDonald's?
McDonald's,
Okay.
all brand new. So you walk in and there's kiosks. And you walk up to it with your credit card and you go tapping it, and then you can place your order and all that stuff. And then over to the right, a couple of cash registers and a spot for two people to stand and take your orders. So I said, I'm not using this stupid kiosk.
I think you got the same attitude I have, and I
Yep.
do not like that kind of stuff.
Nope, because I always push the wrong damn button
Yeah.
or something. Oh, you can't do that, and it blinks at you. Choose another option or some stupid thing. So I stood in front of the cash register and stood and stood. And finally, some woman come over
Yeah.
and said, sir, are you trying to place an order? I said,
No.
I'd like to.
I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for the bus.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, go over to the kiosk and do it. We just accept digital orders now.
So I'll just,
I said, thank you very, very much for no help at all. I said, watch me walk out the door. I'll never come in this GD place again. And I strode out. My wife was happy because she didn't want to be there in the first place.
well, that's. I see that the trend toward what do they call that? Them little things they take a picture of.
Oh, the little
When you-
black squiggly things?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's
Restaurants
all
were
about.
starting to just have one of those on the table, and you had to take your cell phone, take a picture of that to bring up the menu. No, there was no menu. But people have revolted now. I saw this past week. They're starting to go back, those that had that, starting to go back putting out menus. I know we went to, it's been over a year now, to Jalapeno Grill there in Walpole. Is it Walpole, downtown, right on the main street. Great Mexican restaurant it was.
Oh, yes. It's beside the quilting store.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And went in, that's what they had. I said, no. I said to the guy, I said, my camera doesn't do that. I said, or my phone doesn't do that. It might have. I said, he said, oh, yeah, it does. I said, no, well, I don't know how to do it, so you better find a menu. I said, we can't eat here. Well, they went and found one, but that to me is nuts.
It
I
is.
think that the place has changed hands too.
Yeah.
It's,
It is nuts.
Yeah.
Because who the hell are they discriminating against?
well, the older people.
The
that's-
whiteheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not everybody moves at the same rate on technology. I am technically retarded. Well, I can't even say that word, can you?
No, that's.
I'm
Boy, I'll tell
technically
you.
handicapped. I'm not sure I can say that one either,
No,
but
slow.
I'm a dumbass.
You can say that.
Well, okay. But Andrew's laughing. He agrees.
He knows us.
Yeah, and so consequently, these kind of things that you say to somebody, they'll say, "Well, just do this and this." If they tell me to go online and just download this, you lost me.
I know.
I tried to buy a air cleaner maybe a month ago from Amazon, and I didn't want to go on the line and all that stuff, so I just called Amazon. They wouldn't take my order.
Oh, I have a solution for that problem.
I ain't gonna buy it there.
I call Patrick.
Oh, okay.
Get me this.
Get me that.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to do that. Craig would do that too.
Yep.
But he's probably in Finland today or someplace, So, but I thought, what the hell? I just call customer service and say, "Here's my credit card number and here's what I want."
Yeah, that's the good old days. They don't
Yeah,
do that
don't
anymore.
do that anymore.
No.
No, I'm sorry, sir. We cannot take an order on the. Well, you can't. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, too bad. I'll get it someplace else then.
Walmart and Target will take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, that's not so easy either. I tried to get something at Walmart. Well, so I said to the kid that was waiting on me, all right, I want
it's in
one
the
of
store?
the store up in Bellingham.
Yeah, okay.
I want one of these, but you don't have any more. He said, no, but we can place an order for you. I said, okay, well, here's my card. Oh, I can't do it. You have to go to customer service.
Yeah.
Now, what do you want, sir? I said, I want one of those things I was just talking to the kid about. Well, do you know what the model number is? And then a big sigh, and then they, somebody come from electronics to up to the front desk to help. And somebody comes trotting up, and not the person I was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
They get sent back, and they're saying, I don't know what he means. So I have to go back with him to the empty shelf. He said, well, you should have written down that model number. I said, I should have shopped in a different damn store too, but I didn't. I said, now, you going to help me or not? Yes, sir. And we went back to customer service, and then she said, oh, I can do that now.
Mm-hmm. But you're not going to get any better going to one in Walpole.
Oh, well, that's a third world country down there.
Yeah, oh, God, I didn't want to say it. But
English is a foreign language.
English is a foreign language in there.
Oh. And don't ask anybody for help there.
Mm-mm.
Okay?
Or there's an attitude in there, too, that's,
Yeah.
don't bother me.
And you know what? A fish stinks from the head down. So you know damn right well that store manager and his underlings have that attitude.
Yeah, it's and they make good money, too. I saw in a paper not long ago that a Walmart manager's making minimum like $125,000 a year.
Well, if he hits his numbers,
Yeah.
double that.
Double, yeah.
Yeah. And
So
they...
it's not a poor man. They're not just, we're taking anybody off the street. This is a real profession.
And you know, their pricing is great.
Yep.
They stock everything, and if not, they'll get it for you on back order, and it'll be at your house in a couple of days.
Walmart as a company does a damn good job.
Yes, they do. But boy, the individuals. But then again, Dwayne, it's the dumbing down of America.
And what do they had to pick from?
Yep.
Nobody wants to be a clerk in a mass market or a discount store anymore.
And that's why they're getting the prices up around $20 an hour.
Yeah, of course.
For these folks at stock shelves.
Yeah, but
because they can't find anybody
can't
else.
find anybody to do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
know-
It's a tough job. I mean, it's a thankless job.
It is.
It's boring as hell.
Yeah.
You're stooping over all the time, kicking boxes, but it's just it's the way it is. You know, I worked in it. You've probably done it. Everybody it seems to it has something to do with either a retail someplace or else a.
I don't know. I always had an extra job with the kids, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seemed to me, I was always doing something extra, whether it was night shift as a security guard or what the hell else I used to, of course I used to work for the Walpole, driving their ambulance and part-time, but I would like to have had a job like that for $20 an hour when the kids were growing up. Or what would have been $20 an hour, the equivalent thereof. I mean, that would have been all right.
Oh, that would have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
When we moved here, it was the first time I ever saw a grown man like working in a hardware store. Not owning the hardware store, working in the hardware store. Because like from when we lived here, we lived in Ohio, that was usually kids doing that.
And the boss was there.
And the boss, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you were a grown man, you went to Fisher Body or
that was beneath you.
and
not only that,
or
but
General Motors or U.S. Steel or somebody like that. Those were like real jobs.
that had jobs that paid money
Yeah.
and that had benefits.
That's right.
Yeah. But that's all I could get was kids. But it was a great damn start for a kid.
Yep. Oh, we do. When I got out of college, I went on a development program with a retailer. And you started out in the store for a few months, and then you went to someplace else, and you ended up purchasing. And that's how we ended up here. But I knew in the store when, what is General Motors Electronics division, I forgot what that's called. Fisher Body was the body part, and they have electronics that makes all their electronics
Yeah.
work. Whatever it was a plant there. When they only hired certain days, and they'd say, all right, Wednesday the 15th is an open day for hiring. I knew damn well half the store wasn't going to show up. All the floor people, they're all over to that General Motors. Of course, they paid 4 or 5, maybe 6 times what they would work for me or our store, plus health benefits and retirement and all the. So of course the kids aren't going to show up.
First job I had was $1 an hour as a busboy at the old Lord Fox restaurant, and the waitresses were supposed to tip you a quarter
Okay, out of their tips.
out of their tips. Try to catch them at quitting time.
Oh, I'll bet
So-
they disappeared like rats.
Oh, there was usually 3 busboys on.
Yep.
So one of us was appointed to be the cashier, and literally chased them out the door, saying, "Hey, 75 cents for the 3 of us. Come on." You guys are, I busted my tonight, and you, blah, blah, blah. But they'd eventually go, well, all right, I'll just mention it to the manager then. It's your blood money. And
Yeah, there was a lot of.
I'll tell you, you know what? If we could get waitresses to go in the Army, they would be the toughest, fiercest fighters.
I'll bet they would.
Oh, man, nobody would mess with that Army guy, I'll tell you.
Yeah, they could be very aggressive.
A guy stopped me one night. I was going, because the busboy walks around and he keeps looking at the stations, and when the trays are full of dirty, you pick it up, take it out back, sort it out, and all that crap. So the guy stopped me, and he said, "Hey, son, come over here." He said, "Here's $1. Go get me a package of Camels or Lucky Strikes or something out of the machine, will you?" I said, "Sure." So I went to the bartender, got change, punched in the 40 cents or whatever it was, and brought him back the pack of cigarettes and the change, and he says, "Put the change in your pocket." So I did. Somebody told the waitress that was waiting on that table what happened. She came after me and was all set to tear my throat out.
You wanted her 60 cents.
That's right. That's my money.
Yep.
You stole it from me. I said, "Here you go, kiddo. Here it is. All back. Don't you ever do this again." As I say, Dwayne, if we could put them in the Army, we could conquer any other army in the world.
Yeah, my son worked as a busboy at Lafayette House years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The Fox was across the street from the Lafayette House in the woods.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Amazing thing. A guy that owned a restaurant in Foxborough burned it down
Okay.
for the insurance money. Rebuilt it, and then sold it. But there was mafia money there. So then he went to become the general manager, or bought the Lord Fox when it was on its last legs. It burnt that down. Now, they repaired it. So guess what? Lightning struck again. Only this time, the insurance check didn't go to Rhode Island. He kept it.
Oh, well.
And was never seen or heard from again.
There's that one woman on Saturday Night Live used to say, how convenient.
Yeah. But anyway, that was my first job.
You know, I've had some terrible jobs, just disgusting things. Most of them hard labor too. You put anything related to agriculture, you're gonna get
Oh yeah,
dirty, stinky, and it's tough.
yeah, yeah, and the sun beats on you.
Yeah, exactly. I know about stoop labor. So when they hear about them poor field workers from Mexico, oh yeah, well I was right there with them.
There was an article in the Wall Street Journal, "The Dangerous Dashboard,"
Oh, go ahead.
and it talks about distracted driving. The next day, the Herald
Yep.
jumped right on this same bandwagon. They obviously read this, and then they decided they needed to jump on the same wagon. Bring back buttons and dials. Touchscreens in cars are distracting. They are.
Oh, absolutely. Easter, my son and daughter-in-law were there, my grandkids. They bought new cars. They're Lexus. She's got a Lexus hybrid SUV or something. It's got that great big screen. Yeah, it's about this big. And she showed me everything is run off of that screen. I told her, well, I could never. First of all, I couldn't afford this car, but second of all, you'd have to go to school
Yeah,
to
you
learn
can
how
have-
to do anything.
I've read those two. Actually.
Okay.
You can read them.
And everything was on and I said, I have trouble looking away, trying to drive and do something else. I don't like to.
Especially if you get bifocals.
Yeah, I don't, but
Well,
I
yeah.
did. I had progressives, but I don't like to fool with the radio. When I drive, I set the whatever station I want and I leave it alone. I don't even reach down and touch that button. I don't like doing that.
I'll either have AM or FM on the radio. AM for WBZ radio news, or FM for one of the sports talk channels. That's all I do. I'll adjust the volume or something. That's it.
That car did have something that I liked, but it would be a little distracting first. All these functions you can call up to put like in jet fighters, heads-up display.
Yeah.
You can see it projected on the bottom of the windshield, so you look straight out through and you look down. You never have to really look away.
I had a Buick Park Avenue
Yep.
that had that.
Okay.
Heads up. Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah, that was neat.
It was. I mean,
Took a little getting used to, but that was neat. And I found out too you could move it up and down.
yeah.
Yeah.
But she says if it even yells at you if you speed, it starts red lights starts flashing,
Yep.
telling you stop, slow down.
Now, in that article, it mentions a Ford Escape has a 15.5-inch TV screen.
Oh, this
on
thing
the
was this thing was this big.
I mean, are you kidding me? What in the name of creation do you have to do that for, when all it really does is replicate the heater controls, the
what
air
they're doing.
conditioning controls that were controlled by knobs, and you knew where the knobs were? I mean, good Lord. It is, well, it's criminal is what it is, as far as I'm concerned.
But
People are taking their eyes off the road.
But they're so complex too. Everything. I told Noreen, I said, I'd have to go. They'd have to be 2-3 days at the dealer going to school for me to learn how to run this damn car.
Yeah.
Because to me, a cell phone is complicated.
Yeah. Oh,
But all this stuff, I'm used to getting in the car, turn on the key, turn the heater on, turn the radio on, and drive. None of all this electronics and the.
it's madness. But the real thing is with young drivers or those among us that are scatterbrained, you don't want them looking off the road at a bloody TV.
And you can tell sometimes when they're distracted.
You can.
Now, I live on the other side of town, so I use 115 a lot, back and forth, back and forth. And I tell my wife, I said, be very careful when you're on that road, because people tend to coming across that line all the time because they're either fooling around on the phone, trying to adjust something, and they're not paying any attention to where that car is.
You know what else scares me? And I've seen this, probably 4 times. Well, we got plenty of dirt trucks, heavy-duty 16-wheelers,
Yeah.
hauling gravel
I got them
around.
up back and
All
forth
the
my house
time.
all the time.
Watching them go around the center traffic circle.
Yeah.
Okay?
The turn radius on those is
Yeah.
not that.
All right. So, do you really want these guys distracted? But I can't tell you, Dwayne. I've seen it like 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
The cell phone up to his ear and trying to drive one arm around the traffic circle.
Oh, yeah.
I know the police are not anxious to stop those contractors because, very frankly, if they stop one of those guys and he gets a ticket and the boss has to pay it, his insurance rates could go up, the guy could get fired, and the cops cut him a break. But you know what? It's dangerous.
Of course it is.
All right? And at some point in time, we've got to say, well, my rights to safe passage are more important than his rights to be on the damn cell phone. And do something about it, you know? Ay, ay, ay.
I see the sign on the other day on Route 1. Road construction is supposed to start in April, something, on Route 1. I see they've got spray paint on the road where all the stuff is. So maybe they're going to do something on between, the stadium and the casino.
You know, I'll tell you, Route 1 is it's horrible out there. There's potholes everywhere.
Potholes. There's no reason for that.
Well, the reason is we're up here and ice and snow and...
So are other people, but their roads aren't that bad.
Well, Massachusetts is the worst roads in the country.
Second, I read.
Second? Who's worse?
Louisiana.
Really?
Oh, they have a problem with their roads. Is that so many of their roads are built on
boy, the
squishy
bayous.
stuff,
Yep.
squishy stuff.
Yep.
And they never, years ago when they built the roads
Never.
in, they just built the roads over them.
Never
Now
filled.
they got to put 6 or 8 feet of
Concrete.
fill, I guess.
Fill.
Rock.
But
or
they also
gravel
got to put columns in,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
to stop that. But
Hold the thing this way, too.
Massachusetts was 2.
Too.
And their excuse was that we have thawing and freezing. And the article said, so do a lot of other people that are on the same
Minnesota?
temperature zone.
Michigan.
You don't find that
Wisconsin,
all beat to
North
hell.
Dakota. They don't have the same
No,
conditions.
apparently not.
But Mississippi, Alabama, I mean, their roads are absolutely perfect down there. Because they never plow.
Well, I'm going up and down Route 1, obviously going to Plain Ridge every time. But people that drive in the center lane, in the high-speed lane, that is just suicide on that road. There's I can see you go out to pass and move for somebody, then move back over to the right lane, leave some stuff. The other day we were driving down, I think, we were going to Target. We weren't going to Plain Ridge that time. We were going to Target. I suggested we go to Plain Ridge afterwards, but I got voted down. So I was watching this guy, and it was a guy in an SUV, obviously. He's going by me on the left lane. He stays in the left lane, and he's probably on the phone or doing something, but he keeps going, nudging that yellow line, right out on the edge of it. And I said, oh my God, look at this guy. He's crazy. Pretty soon, you see somebody coming going north. They're kind of nudging that front line. Honest to God, Bill, they didn't pass each other maybe this far. Separation going, each one doing probably 60 miles an hour, clothing speeds of over 100.
Do you know?
If one of them twitches
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
or something, it looks like this, boom, you're going to get him, smack him right
Absolutely.
on.
Dwayne, when I was driving in the Midwest, I noticed a phenomena out there on the highways. Somebody would get in the outside lane and drive 65 miles an hour and never move over.
Oh, no, you get that, yeah.
And it was explained to me that, well, those are the good guys that are out there because they're telling you, we're going the speed limit and don't pass me because Smokey will get you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I had more than one person explain that to me.
Yeah.
And you'd have to get behind him and flash your headlights or blow the horn.
Yeah, some of them old farts, they weren't going to get over. They were
Nope.
just staying right there.
Dwayne, we get 2 minutes to go here. I'm going to just run one quick one
Okay,
through
go
you.
ahead. Then we'll-
The headlines tells it all. Remote workers feel brunt of layoffs. Remote workers are losing out on promotions.
Yeah, no kidding. You're not running the flagpole anymore.
Well, gee whiz, should we have some sort of charity that works for these poor remote workers?
I guess so.
They're too damn lazy to go into work.
No, I'm not
They
coming
wanna-
back. I'm
Yeah.
not going back in that car.
They want to sit around in their pajamas and drink beer.
Yep.
And, well, I'll tell you what, the bosses can't judge what kind of job they're doing.
Can't.
So they're missing out on promotions? Well, isn't that too bad?
Yep. That's right.
Yeah, and when it comes time for layoffs, well, I don't know what Harry's doing. He's working from home. He's easy. I get these people in here that are busting their humps. I'm not laying them off.
Say he's in Boston, around here. He says, when I got an application from a kid down in Mississippi, I might as well put him on it. We can give him less money, and he's more qualified. So it doesn't matter where he lives because they're doing it online anyway. So you're competing now with people for your job all over the world.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't feel the least bit sorry
I don't
for
either.
them. And I cut those out
And
just
there's
for
nobody.
the headlines.
I don't care how they swear up and down that they do the same job at home that they're doing in the office. That's baloney. Anybody that's working from home is maybe knocking off a little bit earlier and going to pick up the dry cleaning, or just, I'm a little tired
Has
today.
a distraction with the TV
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Don't tell me
Yeah.
that you're doing the same job.
Ay. Wrap it up.
Okay.
All right, folks, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.